Hey everybody, welcome to day 19 of Vlogmas. 19, we're almost there. Today, I don't know if y'all like seeing me with my hair up, my hair down, but it gets everywhere when it's down, and right now I'm not in the mood to deal with it. So, I'm sorry. I hope you liked my video yesterday. I know it was a little bit longer, but I was going to edit and cut it down. I did watch the whole thing, but I honestly, I just wanted to put that all in there because, I don't know. It wasn't anything really extra. I mean, I was talking a lot, but I was showing you the blanket, so I was crocheting along with you, and I like those kinds of videos. So maybe, some people like them too. But I was watching the video this morning and trying to edit it, and I was working on the blanket. I've gotten almost all of it done. Look at it. Look at it. Isn't it so pretty? Now, the last time I checked, I can't remember it. Remember now. I think it was at 30 something inches, 37 inches or something like that. It's not long enough to put on the table anymore. It's not short enough to put on the table anymore. It's gotten very, very long. And so, those markers, the stitch markers, are just to mark where all my, what do you call that? My special little sections are. So we're going to keep them all there. And the way I like to do it is like put it this way, like this, so that way it's just easier. And we're going to try and get like a real quick measurement. It might not be accurate, but we're going to go for it. I believe it's 32 inches so far. Now, I was shooting for like 40 something inches, above 42, maybe like 46 inches or 48 inches. Now, the way I have it written out right now is that it's 98 rows, 99 rows, 98 rows, right? And I'm not sure how long that is going to give me. So what I'm going to do is, I'm on my last round of this color. And if you've watched yesterday's video, that this middle section of this purple right here was supposed to be bigger. But I ran out of yarn. It was supposed to be the same size as these two, and I ran out of yarn. So the rows that I had extra were accounted because this was supposed to be 15 rows, and then because this was 15 rows, I had to add on extra, and I had added on an extra repeat round, right? So see if you can follow me. I'm sorry. Because I shortened that, right? When I finish this color will end right below my when my repeat starts. So after that, I have 2 extra repeats, because my dark purple, the purple that I started with, if I keep to this exact count, that purple is going to end up having 13 rows. And I can, if depending on how long it is, I can eliminate one of those repeat rounds and make the purple section a little smaller. And I am going to judge it by how long the blanket is, because I don't know if I want the blanket to be over 40 something inches, like 40. I think the most is like 48 inches. I don't want it to be above 48 inches, longer than 48 inches. I think it might be too long if it's that way, but I don't know. If it's under 46 inches, when I get to the color change, then I will most likely, I mean, it doesn't really matter, because once I get past that color change, one, two, three, four, I can either finish it off or go into the next color change, which would finish it off. So we're going to play it by ear. Like I said, I worked on it this morning, and right now it is 12:50, so we are going to start it right now. And I do like to mark the time when I start it, simply because I like to know how long it takes me, because that's how I factor in, like, if I do sell it, I that's how I factor in how much to charge for it. But anyway, I like to keep account. Now, it's funny because yesterday, I was averaging about 10 rows every time I sat down. And again, I believe I said it, that, I think it was because I had to stop and readjust and all, then, like, all that stuff takes into account when you're not just sitting and crocheting. Obviously, it's gonna, cut into your time. So this morning, as I was watching my video, which funnily enough was an hour and 31 minutes long, and again, if you didn't like it, I'm sorry, but I sat here for that amount of time, and I was able to do 13 rounds, 13 rows. So I did an extra 3 or 4. I don't know if it was 13 or 14, and I'm not going to stop to count right now. But, okay. Yeah, this is my last row before I start the in chain space. And that's normally how I finish a round, in chain space. And then I go into the 5, and then that's how I finish it off. Because the bottom, anyway, I'll explain it more or better when, I get to there. But I'm in my last row in the chain, and then I start the end of my 9-row repeat, which is in the chain space, 2 in the chain, 1 in the chain space. And I like the little look that it gives it. So I'm going to keep doing it like that. Now, yesterday, I know that I said if you want to use this for a regular blanket, like for an adult size blanket, you can. You just have to, adjust for the math for, if you're doing it with a color change. Now, remember, if you're doing it all a solid color or all a mixed color, like the yarn that's multicolored or variegated or gradient, whatever you want to use, all you have to do is just add an extra 9-row repeat to the length. If you're doing it the way I'm doing it right here, then it does take a little bit more math. So since this one is the one that's a little bit more difficult, I was thinking that sometime next year, probably like still in the beginning of the year, maybe in February, whenever I can get enough yarn, because right now I do not have enough yarn to make another blanket. I have yarn, but I have to use that yarn for other things, and I know I definitely don't have enough yarn to make a full-size adult blanket. Now, my blanket that I'm making, which I just realized, duh, Mary Jo, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't even realize that. This is how tired I really am and how, like, so muddied shit is getting that my brain isn't even registering the obvious. I believe that the blanket that I'm making for myself to go in here is close to this one. And I just realized that. See what happens when I talk to you guys? I figure shit out. I like this. It's fun. But I have to look at it. Now I'm like really curious because I didn't even realize it. And that's really funny. If I did do that and I ended up using the same style that I'm making for myself that I didn't even realize, baby, my mind works in weird ways. So I was going to say, before I realized that what I can do and what I would like to do is have this one as a baby blanket and then do an adult version, like a big people version. This is a little people version. And I want to make a big people version. Now, the thing is that, like, this blanket, from what I can tell, I think the baby can use it until she turns at least, what, 3, 4, depending on how big the baby is. The little baby that I love and watch sometimes, she's 3, but she's so tiny. And she actually uses my shawl as a blanket. But anyway, this will be a pretty good blanket where they can use it until they're like a toddler, I think. But I'm going to check, because what I was going to say is I can fix the math and do this for an adult size blanket in case you want one. And you can, do one for yourself if you want it make a bigger blanket for yourself so that it's a little bit wider because, for an adult blanket, I like it a little bit wider. I would like it to be at least 48 inches, or 42 inches or something like that. But for, a baby blanket, I think 36 inches wide is more than enough. And I was thinking that in February, maybe, as soon as I can get enough yarn to be able to make one, because it will take a lot more yarn, I will make one like this for an adult. Because technically, it is going to be different than the one I'm making for my living room, because the one I'm making is not like sectioned off like this. Okay? Oh, wait, did I just make a mistake? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Talking to you, I made a boo-boo, but that's okay. That's okay. Let's try and count, because I didn't mark my row either, right? So this is my chain space row, so it starts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So we're going to go right in here. And so this row is done. And we're going to start this row right here. And we're going to go right into the chain space. Okay. So my other blanket, this one has like a color repeat, right? Where the big blocks are 15 rows each, and the center block is 10 rows. My blanket is literally all over the place. I just cut off the yarn whenever I cut off the yarn. I did do it like this where, if it's in the middle of the row, it's in the middle of the row. I don't give a fuck. But there is no like real color sections, like count. If you could follow that, God bless you. It's just wherever I felt like ending it. And if you like that, I can show you that one too. I know that one is at, I believe, 150 something stitches wide, where this one is 95. And the one I made for, the one I have to finish for the baby, that is 125, but that is also in a 3-weight yarn. So if you can definitely use that pattern with any yarn, but it will come out wider and bigger because, the size of the blanket changes depending on the yarn you use. If your yarn is a little bit thicker, the blanket is going to be a little bit bigger. If the yarn is a little bit thinner, the blanket is going to come out a little bit smaller. Always keep that in mind. And, when I was learning, no one ever really says that, or at least not in the people that I've watched. And, sometimes I would wonder, like, why, if I did it in one yarn and then did it in a different kind of yarn, it was coming out bigger or it was coming out smaller. And, that's when I realized it depends on the yarn. And I also, the only time I ever heard that was when I started watching someone who does plushies. Because when they want to make something bigger, they don't use different hook sizes. They use different yarn. And that's when, like, I really started putting 2 and 2 together. because, you know, like the yarn thickness matters. And I think that is something that should be told to people who are just starting out. That, you know, depending on the thickness of your yarn, it is going to change the size of your project. So if you see a pattern, and what I mean, like, not discussed, I know I watch Creative Grandma, and I know she has said that before, but I'm talking more in a the context of like wearables, because she does mainly do a lot of blankets, but I'm talking about the context of wearables. Anyone that I've seen making wearables doesn't necessarily tell you that. They say you can use any kind of yarn you want, which is absolutely true. But they also don't say, that, like, you know, be careful because if you use a different yarn, it's going to come out a different size. And I think that that's something that should be told, especially to a new creator, because again, I don't think they realize that. I'm sorry about that. I don't think it's something that's done on purpose. I think that it's just something that, you know, most people who crochet assume that people know that. I don't know. All I know is that, you know, I didn't really hear that when I started crocheting. And I think it's something that should be told or, you know, discussed when you're, especially when you're learning, that depending on your yarn, your project is going to, it might come out different than whoever is making it. Like, let's, for example, say you have a pattern, and the pattern calls for a 4-weight yarn. Even 4-weight yarns, depending if they make it with a loops and threads yarn and you're using a big twist yarn, your project's going to come out slightly smaller because big twist is slightly thinner than loops and threads. And I know that there are some people out there who might disagree with me, but, you know, honestly, loops and threads. This is big twist. In my opinion, loops and threads, which is the dark purple, is a smidge thicker than big twist. But again, I know a lot of people don't like loops and threads. I love loops and threads. I love big twist. It depends on the project. If you want something, and not so much on the stitch pattern. I'm saying whether you want it lighter or heavier. If I want something that's a little bit thicker, a little bit heavier, I'm going to either use loops and threads or Hobby Lobby, because they're probably the closest to each other. I mean, I don't really go to Hobby Lobby. I've only been to Hobby Lobby twice. And, you know, their yarn, in my opinion, is a little bit more expensive than Michael's, especially for the yardage. But if you catch it on sale on like that 30% off, then it's worth it. And it is good yarn. It's very warm and soft. That's what I made my fall cardigan and my fall granny square sweater. So I do love that yarn. It is very good yarn, but it is on the thick side, right? So if you make something with that yarn and you make something with loops and threads, they're going to come out slightly a different size. And like I said, I do think and I believe that that is important to tell someone, especially a beginner. I mean, like, not a beginner, but someone who's like me, who hasn't been crocheting for very long and doesn't know that much about yarn. You know, when I started, I didn't know anything about yarn. I literally thought all yarn was the same. I didn't know that there was different textures and different sizes, and, you know, that the dye could affect the yarn sometimes and the way it's I didn't know any of that. And I learned by just trial and error, buying yarn. I ordered a bunch of yarn from Michael's, and like I ordered the Soft Classic, which is my favorite. I love this yarn. I really do. And it does, I think it's soft. And again, I do believe that this is slightly thicker than this. And they had some really nice multicolored yarns on there. You've seen my sweaters. That peachy sweater that I have that's like pink and gray and white. That ginormous oversized sweater that I have that's off the shoulders. That was with that yarn. And I thought that that yarn was going to be like this yarn, feel like this yarn. It doesn't. And I only found that out once I ordered it. And the whole point of this conversation, and again, I'm sorry I went down the rabbit hole, but the whole point of this conversation was for me to tell you that if you're going to buy yarn for the first time, you should definitely, if you can, go to the store. Like if you're buying Lion Brand, or if you're buying loops and threads, or, well, now you can get Big Twist at Michael's. For how long, I don't know, but it is there now. Or Bernat Blanket, whatever yarn you're looking for, puzzle yarn. If you've never bought it before and you can find it in a physical location, you should definitely check it out first and see if you like the feel. See if you like what it feels like. See if the weight is something that you're willing to work with, because I bought 3-weight yarn not knowing it was 3-weight yarn. And now I have a bunch of 3-weight yarn, and if you've been around this channel for a little bit, you're going to know that I really don't care for 3-weight yarn. I don't. And I know she doesn't watch this, but Creative Grandma, I am sorry. Cody, I am sorry. I know y'all love 3-weight yarn. And again, for a specific project, yes, I like 3-weight yarn. Do I like using it? Depending on the stitch. Let's be honest. Like my cardigan that I made in the 3-weight yarn. Yes, it was a granny stitch. It worked up great. It worked up pretty fast. I mean, it is a thinner yarn, so it did take a little bit longer, but that's expected, right? So I did, give me 1 second, y'all. That's done, and now I'm here. All right. But how they use 3-weight yarn for baby blankets, God bless you, because not me. I don't want to. So if I'm making a shawl and I want a nice lightweight shawl, absolutely, I would use a 3-weight yarn. I think that's what I'm going to do with the Kaboo yarn that I have. I was going to make it into a shirt. But honestly, at this point, I don't think I want to be honest with you, all joking aside. Unless it's a granny stitch. Then maybe we could talk. That's a good idea, y'all. I didn't think of that until right now. I like this talking it out. It helps me so much, especially with my ADHD, whichever one it is. But, that's actually a good idea. I need to write that down. 3-weight yarn is not really for me. I prefer to use a 4-weight yarn, a worsted weight yarn. For heavier things like really thick, heavy cardigans, a 5-weight yarn, which I can't wait to get all of this stuff out of the way because I have that green puzzle yarn that I am dying to make my cardigan / coat out of. And I'm not going, I was going to work on it, but honestly, like we discussed, I thought I had way more time, and I don't. So right now we're going to focus on what we have to do, which is this baby blanket, which will definitely be done today. Without a doubt. And hopefully it will be done very shortly. And then that other baby blanket, which is the, 3-weight yarn blanket. I just keep reminding myself that I love my friend. And then it's the hats and the granny squares, because that is the Vlogmas challenge, was to do 2 granny squares a day and then get that blanket done before the end of the year, which will be done. And then once I finish all the hats, once I finish the blankets and the hats, if that happens to be before Christmas, then I will start working on the cardigan and show you guys how I'm doing it. Now, I've never done anything like this before. What I'm doing for this cardigan is something I've never tried before. I have done no-sew bottom-up cardigan before. That was my first one. I do want to make another one. I just got very distracted last year, and it is what it is. But this one is actually going like this way. So instead of going up and then doing this, the portion for the sleeves for the arms, it's actually going to go this way. So the stitches are like this. And it's actually going this way. And I'm going to break for the sleeves, for the arms. And I haven't done anything like that yet. And it's not being worked in panels. It's one consecutive piece. So I'm very interested and intrigued to see how the hell I'm going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know, like I said, how much of that you're going to see, because if I don't get all this finished before Vlogmas, and I have to go up until the 25th to get all of this stuff done, then you're not going to see it. And I'm going to work on it while I'm on break because that's going to be my Christmas present to myself. But if I do get this finished, all the stuff finished before Christmas, then I will start working on it and you'll at least see, some of it. And then if it works out and it looks really good, then I will make another one. And actually, I think my friend, he wants one like that in black or black and white or black and gray. But again, I have to write the pattern out first. So if it works out the way I want it to, the way I'm hoping it will, then I will be able to make another one on screen with you guys and show you how I make it. But my battery is, I think, about to die. Because, of course, I would come on here and not have my phone fully charged. But I'm going to go work on this. And, I don't even have a charger in here. I'm going to have to take it to my room when I'm done. But I'm going to work on this, and I will give you an update as soon as I can. If I turn this off now, I might be able to give you an update before I take a break. But I will see you in a few seconds. For you, it's a few seconds. I'll be right back. Hey, everybody. If I could find my hook, that would be so awesome. Here we go. All right. So, I did take a break, but I did crochet some more, and I just didn't film it because, I honestly don't know. But I'm almost done. I think I literally have like 5 rows of half double crochets and 2 rows of single crochets left. That's it. And we are done with the blanket. I cannot wait because I just want to be done with it, I want to finish with it so that I can, work on the other blanket, which has to be done, but that will be done tomorrow. It is currently, I have no idea. Let me see. It is currently 6:10. I, okay, and this was my last, did I even mark the last one? No. Okay, I mean, I don't know why I'm doing it now, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because I want to count how many, make sure that I have the same amount of, um, repeats. But honestly, I'm exhausted. What time did I say that it was? 6:10. Okay. So we're going to start the last bit. I know I stopped this at 5 because someone came over and helped me do something. She was kind enough to help me take some of the last 3 totes that I had up here from my Christmas decorations downstairs, and so I stopped. And now I'm doing the last, Jesus Christmas. I am doing the last 5 rows of half doubles and then 2 rows of single. So, look how big that is getting. It is such a big blanket. It really is a big blanket. But I'm going to finish this, and once I'm done finished, once I'm done with this, I am going to take an actual long break, and I'm just going to relax for about at least an hour and a half or so, maybe more, I don't know. And then I will make my 2 squares for the day. I was going to do them this morning, but I think I said it earlier, like, I just wanted to get this blanket finished. And I believe this blanket, I did a rough estimate, because I do have all the times written down from when I start and when I stop. So I wasn't really, like, trying to do the math, because I kind of do have a headache right now. And then I do have to round down a little bit because it was, it did take me a little bit longer because I was writing it as I go. But I think that from when I started the project until today, which is when I'm going to finish, it took me 3 days and I believe a total of 9 hours. And I'm going to double check the numbers before the end of the night and let y'all know exactly how long this particular blanket took me. And I'm also going to estimate because, like I said, today was the day that, I didn't have to worry about double checking the numbers or anything like that because I finally had everything planned out and I knew exactly what the end of the blanket was going to be. So I'm definitely averaging more than 10 rows. It was 10 rows, I think, in an hour and a half yesterday and the day before. But today, when I was just crocheting, I believe I did 13 rows in an hour. So I'm going to divide that by the amount of rows that I have. And that'll give me a better idea, and I'll see how much I'm off, by the time, how much time I'm off. So I'm going to add up all the hours that I took to make this blanket this first time while I was creating it. And the then I'm going to divide the number of rows by the time it took me to make, a section, how many I can make in an hour and a half. So it took me 13. Today I already worked on this twice. This is, well, technically 3 times, but that one got cut short. So I only crocheted for about half an hour. No, I crocheted for about an hour. Um, And I did 10, 11 rows, 10 rows. I don't know. I gotta see. I gotta count. 9 rows, if I'm right. So in an hour and a half, I think I can average about 13 rows. And this shouldn't take me more than 30 minutes, I'm hoping. So I'm gonna go finish this up. And like I said, once I finish this blanket, I do need to take an actual break for more than an hour, to be honest, because I've really been nonstop since this morning. Like obviously I took breaks in between, but it was just a quick break to either eat or, to take care of my pain, and it wasn't anything where I really stopped and rested. So before I make my squares, I definitely want to do that. And again, the squares will take me what? Both squares will take me about an hour to do both squares. And I will show you the squares. And then we'll end this video. I can't believe it's already day 18. But honestly, I can't wait till this Vlogmas is over because I am thoroughly exhausted and I desperately need a break. You know, desperately need a break. But I'm going to go work on this and then I'll show you the blanket when it's done. And then I'm going to take a break. And then we will meet up at the end of the night. Okay? I'll see you soon. Okay. I have this much left, so I thought we could finish it up together. And I am finally done with this blanket. I honestly, I can't believe. I mean, honestly, it probably would have been done a lot faster if she didn't keep changing the length. It did end up growing like by, and I get it. You want it a little bit longer because you want the kid to have more use out of it. And I think for the amount of time that it took me to actually make it wasn't bad. I honestly wish that I could crochet for long periods of time, but unfortunately I cannot. It is now 6:52. And I started at 6:10, so it took me 40 minutes to finish off the blanket. Now, let's finish it right now, because I don't want to deal with it. Do I have a needle here? Probably not. Oh, wait. I think I do. I think I do. I think there's one in this basket. Now, this blanket took me 2 full skeins, 2 full skeins, one of the purple, which is this one light purple, soft purple, which was this one, and then half a skein of lilac, and I'd say half a skein of this loops and threads. I'm going to roll up a little bit of this right now at this very second, just so I can put it away, because I don't know how much yarn. We have 14 squares to finish, right? And my yarn is getting very low. And so I'm going to have to be pulling, most likely, yarns that are half finished into the pile. But right now, I thought, like, I have the blanket didn't finish off the entire skeins. There was a little bit left, and I'll show you, but it wasn't much. The lilac was finished. I used all of the lilac that was left, and I believe it was like half a skein, maybe less than half a skein. Um, I didn't weigh it, so I'm not entirely sure. But I think this right here is enough for a couple squares. All right, we're gonna cut this off right here. And then I'm going to show you the rest of the yarn after I get this needle and I sew that up. So we did go through, 3 skeins are done. Whatever's in there is going to be for, what do you call that? Oh, Jesus. The granny squares. Oh my God. Honestly, I can't say this enough. I cannot wait till this is over. All right. This is finished. Um, I don't know what this is for, but we're going to put that over there. My notebook over there. And hopefully you can see me weaving in these ends. Okay. We are going to weave in these ends. And just make sure they're nice and in there. You know, we definitely want to make sure that this is secure for the baby. And I think I only ever had one project, and it wasn't something like this. It was my cardigan. And I sewed up the back again, but I did have one cardigan where I didn't know how, like, I wasn't very good at weaving in the ends yet. And only one came loose. Only one came apart, but it did come apart on the back of the sweater. And luckily everything was fine, you know? But after that, and that's the only one I think I've ever had a problem with. But after that, I make sure I weave in my ends very good as I go. I mean, not as I go. When I weave in my ends, I make sure I weave it in very well. And sometimes even like secure it within the weaving process. And maybe like, not a knot, but like go through it. Now, I gotta tell you, I do like clusters because I love just sticking this yarn through the clusters, you know? And it just works so well because it gets like tucked in to the center. But let me see, count from this way. Two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm watching Twisters, the second one, not the original. The original is my favorite though. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. All right. We're going to take off all these safety pins now. Not safety pins. That's exactly what they look like. Stitch markers. But they do look like plastic safety pins. We're going to take all of these out. We are going to weave in the last ends. And then I'm going to show you the blanket. Oh, Jesus. So, you tell me if you think that 3 days for a baby blanket is too long. Is it a long time? Again, like I think like my limit is, I can't crochet more than like 6 hours throughout the day. I mean, at least not like, I don't know. It was a lot. 'Cause an hour and a half and an hour and a half is 3 hours, and then another hour and a half. So yeah, like 6 to 7 hours, but it literally has to be all day long. I need intervals of rest. I can only crochet for an hour and a half at the most at a time. Because let me tell you something, it's a lot. And I normally like the only reason I'm kind of pushing myself, which I hope it doesn't backfire, but it is Vlogmas and I need to have once I commit myself to something, you know, I do my best in every way to make sure that I follow through. Unless there's something that I physically can't do it. Like if I wake up tomorrow and I'm in so much pain that I can't leave my bed, then I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. But if I get up tomorrow and I'm feeling, I'm in pain, but I can push through, I might not do a lot or do as much as I would if I was feeling okay, but I would still want to do it because I made a commitment and I take those seriously. I want to secure this right here. I take those very seriously. And when I say I'm going to do something, I like to keep my word. So, all right, we're going to go this way. So, right now is a little different than what it's going to look like throughout the year. Um, I just want to get this. There we go. Okay. This is very different than what it's going to be throughout the next year. I'm not going to push myself like this. If I can get, like 4 hours of work done in a day or 4.5 hours of work done in a day, not work, crochet, but I mean, I guess it is work. But if I can get, like 4 or 5 hours of crochet in a day, then that's what it's going to be. I'm not going to, I wish I could sit down and do an entire blanket in one day. I wish I could, because if it takes me 9 hours and I was able to sit throughout the day for a longer period of time, I would probably be able to finish a blanket in a day. But at the moment, that's not possible. So I will turn the camera so you can see the whole blanket. But here it is. It's finished. Finished the blanket. Yay! Hold on. Okay, can you see me? Here is the blanket. I really can't see, but I hope it fits in the frame. It's, I think it's a very good size. I mean, I think this is more of a toddler blanket than a baby blanket, but, you know, I think this is really big for a baby blanket. I don't know, I've never really made a lot of baby blankets, and I definitely never made one to follow a pattern, so, I mean, but you tell me, what do you think? Is it pretty? Now, let's measure it out, shall we? And I do need to take a picture of it. So, that's what the blanket looks like. You let me know what you think. And give me a second and I'll turn the camera back around. Okay, it measures at about 45 inches. 45 inches long, 36.5 inches wide. Somebody tell me, is that the normal size for a baby blanket? I have no idea. But that's what it is. That's finished. This is what we had left of the soft pink. I mean, the soft purple. That's what we had left. And that's what we had left of the purple. And so we're going to use this for our squares. Now, this is like, I don't know why this is like this, but I know why this is like this, because I didn't want the ball to be too big. So I did that, but we have that. And then I did take a little bit of the other purple. There's not much left there. I don't know if I showed you the skein, but there's not enough. There's not a lot there. Hold on. That's all I have left out of this skein. But this color here, I can use for those big squares that I'm making, the 9-something squares, 9 by 9 squares, I think it is. So that's where this is going. And I am done in here for today. It is 7:11. Wow. It is 7:11. And I am done for right now, for today, in here. I think in my room, like I said, the only thing that I really want to go do, the only thing that I need to do is today's squares. And it's early. Like I said, it's 7:11. So I'm pretty sure that I can definitely, I don't know what is on. The movie just finished and another movie started playing. And I have no idea what movie it is. So let's lower that. Um, I am definitely going to do today's two squares because I'm feeling okay. I mean, I'm tired, but once I take my break, I think I can do two tiny little squares. I mean, it's 5 by 5 square. They take me what? At the most half an hour if I have to tie on a bunch of yarn, but for the most part it takes me anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes to make a 5 by 5 square. Whether that's fast or slow, I honestly have no idea, but that's how long it takes me. So I am going to go take a rest, and the next time you see me will be in my room making those squares. I know there's something that I wanted to say, but I have no idea. Oh, and I have a feeling, and I'm very, very sorry, but I have a feeling that this video is going to be very long too, and I honestly don't want to cut anything out. I think that I might watch the video all the way through, but I don't think I need to do much editing, if any at all, and I would only do editing for the purposes of cutting it down, but you know what? I'm not going to do that. Um, it's a video making a blanket. I mean, obviously, I didn't show you the entire blanket because that was 9 hours long, I think. But, I wanted to show you here and there steps of how I'm doing it. So I'm very proud of it. I think it looks beautiful. I think that they're going to like it. And I know for a fact that a blanket this big, it's going to grow with the baby. So, you know, that's a good thing. Um, and who knows, maybe she'll save it for her daughter. But I'm going to take a break and I will see you again for you in just a sec. Okay. Hey guys. All right. Um I'm back. Um I just wanted to let you know. Sorry. I probably shouldn't have done that, but I have low blood pressure and I'm feeling it, so I eat like olives and they're salty and they bring up my pressure. But anyway, my phone was dying and I just wanted to do the squares because I was so tired. So I just went into the squares anyway while the phone was charging. And first I'm going to show you the squares. And then I'm going to show you what's left of the yarn that I used for these squares. One of them I used completely, and the other ones are very, very little. But this was the first square I did. Here we go. And that was the first one I did. And she is pretty. Very, very, very weird because, like, these are scraps. Like, some of them were literally, like, very small scraps. So, you know, I like to use all of it. So, you know, if it's a scrap that's big enough to do something, I save all my scraps and I try to use them all because I don't like waste. Just like, you know, I like to recycle and repurpose and all that kind of stuff. But it's that little pop of color, and, you know, you can tell that I just reach in and pick out whatever color comes because, honestly, like, I would never willingly put these colors together. But, listen, like I've been saying, this is going to be one funky, one-of-a-kind blanket, and it's strictly going to be like scrap yarn, and you're going to be able to tell that it's a scrap yarn. So I'm going to show you, this was the first one I made. And then we can take a look at all of the ones that were made this week. Today is technically Friday for you. So we're going to show you all of these. And this is how this one came out. Now, I was never sure about, like, certain variegated yarns in this, and when I first grabbed this, I was like, what the fuck? But honestly, I think that this one came out pretty good. And we used the rest of this blue, so I honestly don't know where this blue came from. I don't know if this is the mainstay yarn or if this is, it's the same color as this one. But I don't know if this was mainstay yarn or if this was Premier yarn, the one that I got from the Dollar Tree. I have no fucking idea. And honestly, I don't care. I actually like this one. I think it looks cute. And again, I think these squares are so funky too because, like, depending on how you turn them, they have a different look to them. And that's also going to take into account on when I put the blanket together, right? So, this was the second one. And again, that blue was completely gone. But look, this purple, which is this lighter purple that was in this first square. And I think I do have another small ball, but that was what was left of that ball. And again, I'm not sure if I have any more of this. I don't think so, but that's all that was left after making that. That's all that was left after making that. And then I'll show you the extra ones that I took out. That's all that was left after using that. And then there was the green and the sage, and that's all that was left after doing that. It's not a lot, but again, we're just trying to use this up. I believe we have, I'm not sure how many we have left, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Which is crazy because that means that You have 6 days left. Wow. Okay, so hold on a second. Okay, so now we counted I showed you the centers that I have left. And this is the yarn that's left that we were picking from, the smaller balls, right? And I had put out all the ones that were, like, these little ones. Some of these had, this one does have one. I don't think this one does. But this one does. There's another one of this. And there's another one of this. And another one of this. So I'm going to show you. Like, we are going to use these first. And get rid of these little ones. So tomorrow when I pick, I will be taking these extra ones out. And just keeping these in. And then if we don't use all the scrap yarn for this blanket, trust me, we will be using it for a different project. I will be getting rid of as much of it as possible and using it up. Maybe not making another granny square blanket. Maybe doing something else. I don't know yet. Maybe doing another scrap sweater. I don't know, but we will be using it, right? Although I am on a granny square kick, and I don't know. But anyway, we have 1, 2, 3 extra balls of white. If I have all that white left over and a lot of Christmas colors left over, I might do a Christmas granny square blanket that's actually going to be like only Christmas colored yarns, but we'll see. Then I have 2 more of these, and I believe these 2, the little one that's in there and one of these came from the blanket that we finished today. And this came from the blanket we finished today. I think also along with this one, wasn't it too? But that little one's almost gone. And then we have an extra one of these. And then we have 3 purple. And remember, no, I'm sorry. This one. Oh, this came from our blanket as well. That should have been in the mix, but it wasn't. And these 2 came from our giant ball that we had, remember? And I broke that up. And that's what these are. So, this is what we have left. And we have 6 more days, 12 squares. So that's fun. So, you saw the 2 squares for today. And remember, we also did this square. So we do have a nice square with all that blue in it. And then we have this square. I love this one. And this was not planned. Like, I just picked, and I think this is one of my favorite ones. And we have this one. I actually like that too. It kind of looks like a heart in the middle. I don't know. And then we have this one. You have some that looks like I actually like picked those colors on purpose. And then you have other ones that you look at and you're like, what the hell is that? But I just reach in and grab. So that one's funky. And it's coming out, like I said, this camera, for some reason, it's coming out a lot brighter than it is. And then we have this one. So these are the squares for this week so far. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Because technically for me it's Thursday, right? So we have all of these. These were all this week's squares. And there you go. And tomorrow is another day. I'm pretty sure this video is going to be as long as the last video. So if you don't like them, sorry. You don't have to watch them. I hope you do, and I hope you enjoy them. But I know they're kind of long, and although there are people like me out there who really enjoy long videos, like an hour, hour and a half, there are some of you, I understand that you might not like to, but I did want to include everything. The blanket, and show the different stages of the blanket, and definitely the squares. And that is really all we did today. And I am tired. I need to relax. I need to upload all these videos, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Oh, I'm so sorry, but I really started seeing spots and I needed to eat something that's salty. But anyway, I forgot. If you like this video, please hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps my channel. If you like this video, hit the like button. And if you want to know when I'm on and when I post, hit that little bell. It'll send you a notification as to when I'm on. And you can follow me over on Facebook and Instagram. You could check out my website, MaryjoesCreations. There's not much up there right now, but because of this whole situation with Vlogmas, I really haven't had a chance to put stuff up. But I will get more stuff up as soon as I can. And just remember, if you want to see me live, I need 2 more subscribers. I believe it's with 50 subscribers I can go live on my phone. So all I need is 2 more subscribers, and then I can go live. So now, everybody, I hope you all have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.